Hello, dear CAT aspirants. I hope you are doing a rock solid preparation of your upcoming CAT exam. So, today we have taken this topic of tables to yet another level where we will be discussing tables with missing values and also a combination of multiple tables with missing values. So, this is the highest level of question that a CAT examiner can ask to a student. So, if you are well prepared, I would suggest you pause and try to solve these questions. If you are here for the first time, please proceed with me, and I recommend you to watch the previous two parts of this topic as well because they were to build your foundation. Okay, so after this lecture, you will be able to solve questions based on multiple tables and combiningly multiple tables with missing data that are asked in your CAT and other MBA entrance exam levels. Okay, so now we'll quickly start solving the questions because there are no specific instructions for this. Like you have to take care of each and everything that I have told in the previous videos. And then these questions are a combination of many things. So the type of question tells you what is important, and that I only told will come by practice. So practice more and more. Okay. So the question says the Bhartiya Petrol Company produces two types of petrol, normal and premium. It refines the petrol at six refineries. So there are six refineries. Important word, let's circle it. The refined petrol is sent from refinery to any one of the seven depots. So there are seven depots and then to any one of the eight districts. Okay, so petrol comes from refinery, then from refinery goes to depot, and from depot it goes to a district. So this is the chain. Refineries are XA, XB, XC, XD, XE, and XF. So six refineries. Depots are DA, DB, DC, DD, DE, DF, and DG. Districts are ZA, ZB, ZC, ZD, ZE, ZF, ZG, and ZH. So you are given six refineries, seven depots, and eight districts. Table 1 gives the cost of transporting 1000 liters of petrol from refinery to depot. So table 1 will give you step 1 of transporting 1000 liters of petrol. Please keep in mind the value is for 1000 liters. While table 2 gives the cost of transportation of 1000 liters of petrol from depot to district. So let's have a look at the tables. So cost of transporting from refinery to depot is given by table 1, and you have to take care all figures are in thousands of rupees. So if it is 300 and 311.1, it is actually 311.1 into 1000. So please take care that these numbers are multiple of thousands over here. And table 2 gives you cost of transporting from depot to district. Again, all figures are in thousands of rupees. So this scale is provided. Please take care of this scale. So I think there's no missing information in it. You have to analyze it, and you have to just look at the questions over here. I feel this question can be easier if there is not too much of calculation involved in the parts of questions that are given to you. So let's have a look at those questions. So these are the questions present in front of you. So the first question says least cost in thousands to transport 1 liter of petrol from any refinery to any district. So this question is very easy because there is no condition imposed. You have to find the least cost from any refinery to any district, and in the bracket you are given thousands, so it means the options that you are provided with, they are already in thousands. So if I look at the tables, the first table is from refinery to depot and then from depot to district. Now I have to find the minimum cost. So I have no condition also, I do not have any constraints. So in the first table I will look for the minimum value. So the minimum value in the first table, if you look carefully, it is 0. So the minimum value is 0, and that is from refinery XB to depot DB. So this is from refinery XB to depot DB. That is how much rupees? That is 0 rupees. And now if you look for the column of DB, because now your petrol has reached to depot DB. Now in the next table, I will not look at the table as a whole. I will just look at the column of DB, because now the constraint is that the petrol has to go from DB to some district. So now if you look at DB, the minimum cost over here is 0 again, that is to district ZG. So if you ask that what is the route which will cost the minimum transportation, so the route that will cost the minimum transportation will be from XB to DB to ZG. So route is not asked, but still XB to DB to district G. So this is the minimum route, and how much does this cost? It costs 0 plus 0. So what is the minimum cost? That is 0 rupees. So you can transport the petrol from refinery XB to district G in free of cost, totally free of cost. Okay. Now let's move to the second question. Minimum cost of transportation in thousands of 1 liter of petrol from any refinery to district ZB. So now over here you have to find the minimum cost, but the condition is refinery can be any out of 6, it can be any refinery, but the district has to be ZB. So our destination is fixed. Our destination is ZB. We have to bring the petrol to ZB. Now from Z, now if I look in the reverse order, see how does it help me? I know my destination is ZB. Now on in the district ZB, the petrol can come from 7 depots. That is A, B, C, D, E, F and G. And if I look for the minimum price, then you can see 93.1 is the minimum price. And that is coming from depot E. So it means from depot E to ZB will cost me minimum, that is 93.1. Now let's move to depot E. Now from deep in the row of depot E, you can see that the petrol can come from any refinery, either it be A, B, C, D, E or F. Let's check for the minimum price over here. So in this row, you can see the minimum price is 5,000 rupees. So from XC to DE, the price is minimum, that is 5,000 rupees. And then from DE, I can take it to ZB, that is my final destination mentioned in the question, in 93.1 thousand rupees. So this is the minimum cost to take the petrol from any refinery to ZB. So that will be how much? 5 plus 93.1. So 5 plus 93.1, that is how much? 98.1. So this is the minimum cost again. So it's better in these questions that you look from the reverse order. If you know the destination, always go from the reverse order. This will help you. You will not miss out onto any case. Okay, now let me tell you the difference also. If you would have started randomly, right? Now my destination was ZB, right? Now at ZB, the petrol can come from any depot. If I look at this complete table, you will see that this is the minimum price, okay, 0. Let me take that the petrol is coming from XB to DB in 0 rupees. And from DB to ZB, it is going in 803.2 rupees. So, and every figure is in thousands, you all know. 803.2. So, many of you will mark the answer as nota over here. So, you have to be very, very careful of these things, right? That is why I started in the reverse order, because the destination is known to me. Okay, so the next question asks you minimum cost of transportation in thousands of 1 liter of petrol from XB to ZA. Now, in this question, your starting refinery is also fixed and your destination is also fixed. So, you have to start from XB and you have to go to ZA. So, starting is also fixed. From XB, it will go to some depot, which I don't know as of now. And from that depot, it will go to district ZA. So let's have a look. Starting from XB to any depot, the minimum price is 0, right? I have to find the minimum, so I look for the minimum value. So DB. So it goes from XB to DB in 0 rupees. And now from DB to ZA, it goes in 843.2 rupees. So obviously all the values, please remember whatever I am referring over here, it is in thousands. I am not taking thousands into account because every question has thousands mentioned. So these are in these options, 1000 is already present. So that is why I am not speaking 1000 again and again. So 843. So total cost will be 0 plus 843.2. It means the answer is B. But this is wrong. This is incorrect. Why? Because I took this order in starting from refinery to depot to district. Let me check for the reverse ones. Let us first go from destination, then to depot, and then to refinery. Maybe I get another way which is more cost efficient than this one. Let's check for this. Okay, so the destination is fixed, that is ZA. Now, if I check for ZA, the minimum cost is 0. That is, it is coming from DE. So, XB, it means the depot is DE, ZA. Or better would be to write in an order. Let's write in another order. ZA, it is coming from DE to ZA, and DE to XB, or we need XB to DE. XB is fixed, so price for from XB to DE is 324.5. So this is how much this route cost 324.5 and this route cost 843.2. So which one is more cost efficient? Obviously this one. So the correct answer is not this. The correct answer is A option. So did you see the source of error? Now over here you have to take care that you have to check in both the orders because you are finding the minimum cost. If it would have been maximum, it would have been easier. We are finding the minimum cost. So for minimum, there can be more than one way also. So I started from starting to the destination and I also checked from destination to the starting. Right? So I reversed the order and I got a more cost efficient way. So that is the actual cost of minimum transport from XB to ZA. Okay, let's move to the next question. Maximum cost of transportation in thousand of 1 liter of petrol from any refinery to any district. Again, very easy, no constraint. Any refinery to any district, but now you have to find the maximum cost. So for the maximum cost, let's check the first table. From any refinery to any depot, let's check what can be the maximum value. So if you look at this table, I can see that the maximum value is, if I am not wrong, the maximum value is 1173.6. That is from transportation from XE to DE. Now I have to look for the column of DE. Now your petrol has reached DE. Over here, the maximum value is 1035.3. So this is the maximum price from any refinery to any depot. And what is the route? It will go from XE to DE and from DE to ZH. So if I sum them up, let's sum them up quickly. So when you sum it up, you get 2208.9. So that is the correct answer. Again, there may be many possibilities. And if you could see, there are confusing numbers. Like this is 1173.6 and you can see this number is very similar. If you look, you can make a mistake. You can take this rather than this. So this is again a thing of mind games. So you have to be very, very careful. Okay. Let's move to the next question. This is a TETA question. In how many ways can you transfer the petrol from any refinery to any district? So yes, how many ways? So basically you have been asked about the possible permutations to transfer from any refinery to any district. Like from any refinery, if I take, let's consider one refinery at a time. If I consider refinery XA, then from XA, you know, it can go to any depot in how many ways? It can go to any depot in 7 ways. That is the total number of depots. So it can go in 7 ways to depot, right? And for any depot, it can go to any district in how many ways? Any depot to any district, it can go in 8 ways. right? So how many total ways? 7 into 8. Simple permutation, that is 56 ways. So you have 56 ways to transfer the petrol from any refinery to any district. Because from any refinery in 7 ways, and then from any depot to any district in 8 ways. So total is 7 into 8, that is 56 ways you can transfer the petrol from any refinery to any district. Okay, so now moving to the last question. Minimum cost of transportation in thousands from refinery XD to district ZC. Now, this is a similar question to the third one. And in third one, you recognize the source of error. So the same source of error is possible in this. Now, you understand if you did not realize this thing in the exam, you could have got both these questions wrong. So please be careful. Now over here we have the route, we have the starting fixed, that is XD. It will go to any depot and then to district ZC. This is from start to the end. Now we'll do the reverse also. ZC and XD. So we'll check the minimum price for both the cases, and the minimum of the two will be our answer. Okay, so let's first do for the first thing. XD to which depot is the minimum price? So if I look at XD, the minimum price is 754.1, that is to transfer to DD. So the depot DD. Now from DD to ZC, if I look at DD to ZC, the cost is 457.3. So what will be the total cost in first case? For case 1, the total cost will be 750.1 plus 457.3. Okay, so without solving, let's first move to case 2. Now case 2 is, I have to take the destination first. So if I look at the row of ZC, the minimum price which I can find is for depot DC. So DC. And let's check from price from XD to DC is how much? 780.1. So for case 2, the price is 0 plus 780.1, and without solving I can tell that this value is lesser than this value. So obviously the answer is the second route, that is from depot DC. So our intermediate is depot DC over here. So what is the minimum price? Minimum price is 780.1. So if you would have taken only the first case, you would have again marked the answer as nota, which is wrong. So you have to be very careful. Okay, so now we are moving to another set of interesting questions. This set is a difficult one, I would say. So please pause and take 10 to 12 minutes to solve this and then look for the answers. If you are doing it along with me, then let's move ahead. Okay, so question says 3 panel members A, B and C interviewed 4 candidates P, Q, R and S. Each panel member marked each of the 4 candidates on the basis of 4 parameters P1, P2, P3 and P4. So let's comprehend till here. So there are 3 panel members A, B, C. So panel member A, panel member B and panel member C. Then there are 4 candidates P, Q, R and S, and each panel member marked the 4 candidates on the basis of 4 parameters, and then there are 4 parameters P1, P2, P3, P4, maybe anything like discipline, punctuality, personality, soft skills. It can be anything. We are not concerned with what are those parameters. The following table provides the partial data. Obviously some data is missing. You can see about the scores given by each panel member. Now this question can be one of the favorites of the examiner, because you can see it is a question of missing data as well, and also a question of multiple tables. So this is a combination. So this question can probably be asked to you in the exam or something similar to this. So let's try solving this. Now before we move ahead, there are certain set of instructions which is given to us. So let's quickly read the instructions. In each parameter, A gave a different score to each candidate, and for each candidate, A gave a different score to each parameter. It means in each parameter, so P1, P2, P3, P4, A gave a different score. It means A gave a different score to each candidate. It means for P candidate, all the scores P1, P2, P3 and P4 are different. Similar way for Q also, P1, P2, P3 and P4 scores are different. So on and so forth for R and S. Also, vice versa is also true. For each candidate, A gave a different score in each parameter. It means for candidate P, in every parameter, the score is also different. It means this way also the score is not matching and this way also the score is not matching. Right? I hope this is clear to everyone. Same statement for B is given. In each parameter, B gave a different score to each candidate, and for each candidate, B gave a different score in each parameter. So both the statements are same for A and B. The scores that A gave to any candidate in any parameter was a positive integer less than 5. So this is an important information. Let's try using this. So I have framed another slide for the table so that we can fill them comfortably. So for panel member A, okay, now one more source of error before we move ahead to the solving. Can you see over here the tables are given in random order, like you are given panel member B first, then A and then C. If you would have not read the title carefully, you would have considered this as A, B and C, and then everything would have gone wrong. So please be very careful while reading the title when it comes to multiple tables. So this is panel member A, and what does the third point says? The point says the score that A gives to any candidate in any parameter was a positive integer less than 5. So you know integers less than 5 are 0 to 4. But will I consider 0 in this? No, 0. I cannot anticipate 0 score. Why? Because it is written positive integer less than 5. Is 0 positive? No, 0 is neither positive nor negative. It is a special kind of integer which we do not consider in positive category as well as negative. So the only possible scores for given by panel member A are 1, 2, 3 and 4. So this is the only possibility. Let's go to the next point. The scores that B gave to any candidate in any parameter uh, was please remove this, was any integer less than 9 and greater than 4. So the scores given by B, they are in the range less than 9 but greater than 4. So what are the possible integers? Less than 9, greater than 4. So greater than 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So this is the score which B gave. And for C, let's write it over here. So what are the scores given by B? 5, 6, 7 and 8. If you look for C, the fifth point says the score given by C to any candidate in any parameter was the average of the score given by A and B to that candidate in that parameter. Now it means if you have found the scores given by A and B to every candidate in every parameter, then you can quickly do the average of A and B and you can get the scores of C. So for C, it's very easy. If I fill table A and table B, panel member A and panel member B, I can quickly calculate the scores given by panel member C because they are averages only. And then the sixth point says the score given by C to any candidate in any parameter was an integer. So again, this was an integer, but I'm not given any range. Okay. So now let's focus on panel member A and panel member B first. Now, if you look for panel member B, I guess I should start with this because I have three informations given to me, three scores given to me. So I think I can use them in some way. If I look at this parameter 2, then 7 and 8 are already done. It means now the scores for Q and R can't be 7 and 8 because if you read the second point very carefully, gave a different score to each candidate and for each candidate B gave a different score in each parameter. So it means this score of Q and R for P2 can't be same, they have to be different. So the possibility is either it can be 5 or 6. Same way this can either be 5 or 6. Now if you look at this particular line carefully, q, if you read this instruction, in each parameter B gave a different score to each candidate, and for each candidate B gave a different score in each parameter. It means for candidate Q, the scores in each parameter can't be same. So it means 5 is not the possibility over here. So what is the only possibility that I'm left with over here is 6. So the score of Q in parameter P2 is nothing but 6. And now what is the remaining possibility? 6 gets out. The only possibility for the score of R in parameter 2 is 5. So I have filled this particular column. So the score is 5, right? I hope this is clear to everyone. Okay, so now I have filled in this particular parameter for all the candidates. I have the score given by B. Now let's look at panel member A. I think for panel member A, I do not have much information because for Q and R also I have two possibilities, 2 or 3, right? Now if I look for panel member C, panel member C, I am given score for parameter 4 of candidate P and candidate S. If I look at this instruction carefully, what does this say? It says that the score given by C to any candidate in any parameter was the average of the scores given by A and B to that candidate in that parameter. So can I write the equation A plus B by 2 is equal to C? It means scores of C are average of A and B, right? Am I clear to everyone? And also over here, it is given in the last instruction, the score given by C to any candidate in any parameter was an integer. It means it was neither decimal nor any fraction. It was an integer. And this value will only be integer if either both A and B are odd or both A and B are even. If one is odd and one is even, the sum will come out to be odd, and divide by 2 will give you a decimal number. But if I have both odd and both even, then both of them will add up and give an even number, and the average will also be an integer. So this is an important information. So till now we have figured out the scores received by all the candidates P, Q, R and S given by panel member B in parameter 2. Also we have an important information that the condition imposed on both A and B is that either their scores can be both odd at a time or they can be both even at a time. They can't be odd and even. So they either have to be both odd or both even. Now, if I use this particular information, if you look at the score given to P in parameter 1 by panel member A, this is 1. It means if this is odd, this also either has to be odd, this also can be odd. So the odd possibilities for panel member B are either 5 or 7. But it can't be 7 because 7 is already there, and we know that for the same candidate, scores in different parameters can't be same. So 7 is not possible. So the only remaining possibility over here is 5. Similar way, if I look at this 4, this is even. So over here also I'll get an even value. So even can either be 6 or can be 8. If you look carefully, 8 is already there. S has already got an 8 score in parameter 2. So in parameter 1, it can't be 8. So the only remaining possibility is 6. So this way we have figured out. Now, if you look at this table, we have figured out many missing values, and if we'll proceed in the same way to find the other missing values. Now, if you look at this table, if this is 7, this is odd, then obviously this also has to be odd. So either 1 or 3. 1 is not possible, so it can be 3. So it is only 3. Similar way, if you look at this is even 8. So this also has to be even, either 2 or 4. But 4 is not possible. So this is 2. So this way we have got another set of important information. So now if I look at this particular value, that is 6. the score of candidate Q in parameter 2 given by panel member B. If this is 6, then obviously this value also has to be even. So either it can be 2 or 4, but you can see 2 is not possible because a score of 2 is already given to candidate S. So it can't be same for candidate Q in same parameter, that is P2. So this obviously will be 4. Similar way, if this is 5, this has to be odd, either 1 or 3. 3 is already given to P, so this is the possibility is only 1. So this is 1. Now, if you look at this table carefully, panel member C, the average over here is 4. We know that the score of C, score given by C to any candidate, was the average of the score given by A and B to that candidate in that parameter. So if this is 4, it means that A plus B has to be 8. Now let's explore for the possibilities. If I look at this particular cell, the possibility is 5 and 7 is done. So it can be either 6 or can be either 8. Similar way, if I look at this, 1 and 3 is already done. So it can either be 2 or can be 4. Now let's do hit and trial and check for which particular combination do I get the average of 4. So 6 plus 2 will give me 8 and 8 divided by 2 is 4. So this is the possible combination. So it means over here I get 6 and over here I get 2. Now let's fill the remaining. Over here 5 is done, 6 is done, 7 is done. So remaining is 8. Over here 1 is done, 3 is done, 2 is done. So remaining is 4. Similar way, you can check for this 5. Now this is 5. It means A plus B has to be 10 in this case. Now what are the remaining possibilities? Over here you can see 6 is done, 8 is done. Also, if you look from the side of the column, 5 is also done. So all the possibilities are omitted basically. So I don't need to use this equation actually. 6 is done, 8 is done, and also 5 is done. So the only possibility is 7. So over here I get 7. And corresponding to this, I need an average of 5. So what should this be? So we can check for all the remaining values. See, 4 is done, 2 is done. From here also 2 is done. So the remaining possibilities are 1 and 3. So for what value will I get 5? Obviously, I'll get it for 3. So 7 plus 3 will give 10 divided by 2 is 5. So this is the particular value. So over here you get 3. Now can I fill the remaining value over here? So 6 is done, 5 is done, 7 is done. So this will be 8. Over here 6 is done, 8 is done, 7 is done. So remaining is 5. So I get 5 over here. Now if you look at this particular value, if this is 8, then this also has to be even. So this can either be 2 or 4, but 2 is not possible because 2 is already given to P. So over here I get 4. So now I get 4 over here. Now if you look at this value, this is 5. So it means this also has to be odd, either 1 or 3. 3 is not possible, so the remaining is only 1. So I get a 1 over here. Now let's check for the other values. Now let us make the cases of possibilities. For this particular value of Q, 5 and 6 is done. Also from this side also both 5 and 6 is done. So the remaining possibility is either 7 or 8. Similar way, if I check for P3, also 7 and 8 is left, but 8 is not possible because already P has got 8. So this will be 7. So obviously this value will be 8. So let us erase the possibility case that we had written. So this is 8. Now if this is 5, 8, 6, so this is 7 remaining value. This is 8, 7, 5, so remaining is 6. So successfully I have completed the table for panel B. Now let's check for A. If this is 8, then this also has to be either even either 2 or 4. So 4 is not possible, so this is 2 and remaining value 3 comes here. Now, if you look at this particular P3, so over here it is 7. So this also has to be odd, either 1 or 3. So over here, I have a case of 1 or 3, but 1 is already done. Score of S in P3 is 1, so it can't be 1 for Q in P3, so it has to be 3. Remaining is 2. Now over here, if you check, the remaining value is 1. Now, how can you check that the values that I got are correct? You have to match that there should be no repetitive value row wise and also column wise. So if you check, it is all the 4 values are different. Here also all the 4 values are different. Similar way, here also all the 4 values are different. Here also all the 4 values are different. So this way, if you are getting any sort of repetition, then it means that you have made some error. Otherwise, it's correct. Now for panel member C is very easy. I have to calculate the averages. That is, I have to do A plus B by 2. So 1 plus 5 is 6 divided by 2. So 3. 3 plus 7, 10 divided by 2 is 5. Then 4 plus 8 is 12. Then divided by 2 is 6. Then I have 8 plus 2, 10 is 5. 6 plus 4, 10 again, 5. Then 7 plus 3, 10 again, 5. Then 6 upon 2, that will be 3. 7 plus 3, 10, this will be 5. Then 3, then 4, then 6, then 5, and I get 5 again, 6 and 3. So I have successfully finished the filling up of the tables. Now let's move to the solving of the questions based on this. So all the questions are theta types. What is the score given by B to R in P3? So we have to refer to P3 score given by B. That is, we have to refer to the table of panel member B. Now be very careful, don't get confused. It is panel member B. So please refer to the correct table. Panel member B to R, that is R, in what is the parameter? P3. So P3 and R, so the score is 6. So the answer is 6. What is the score given by A? So we have to refer to this table, score given by A to Q in P4. A to Q in P4. So P4 is 1. So score is only 1. So the next question says, what was the highest composite score in P3? Now we have to read this question very carefully. You have to check what was the highest score in P3. Now for this, I will need another table where I can find the total scores of these candidates in every parameter given by all the 3 panel members. So for that, I know P was awarded 3 different marks by A, B and C in P1 parameters. So I can add them. So 5, that is 5 plus 1 plus 3. So this gives 9. So it means total score of P in parameter 1 was 9. Similar way, in parameter 2, it was 7 plus 3 is 10 plus 5, 15. For P3, this will be 8 plus 4, 12 plus 6, 18. For P4, it will be 6 plus 2, 8 plus 4, 12. Similar way, you can fill it. Now I am interested in only P3. So let's first quickly find for P3. Now for P3, the total score of Q is 7 plus 3, 10 plus 5, 15. So P3, 15. For R, this is 6 plus 2, 8 plus 4, 12. And for S, it is 5 plus 1, 6 plus 3, 9. So you can see that out of P, Q, R and S, P received the highest score in parameter 3 and what is the value? 18. So highest score was 18 and if the examiner asks you who scored it, then you know P scored it. Okay. How many candidates received a higher composite score in P2 as compared to that in P3? So I need all the scores, composite scores of P2 and P3, and then I can compare and tell how many candidates got a higher score in P2 as compared to P3. So let's now do the same exercise for P2. So for Q, the total score in P2 will be 6 plus 4, 10 plus 5, 15. So this will be 15. For R, this will be 5 plus 1, 6 plus 3, 9. So this will be 9. And for S, it will be 8 plus 2, 10 plus 5, 15. So you can see if I compare between P2 and P3, so for P, score in P2 is less, for Q, it is equal, for R, this is again less, but for S, score in P2 is greater than P3. So only one candidate. How many candidates? What are you asked? You are asked candidates. You are not asked score. You are not asked which candidate. You are asked how many candidates. So over here you can see I will not take the case of equal to because it's not given less than, higher than or equal to. It is given only higher. So I'll consider only the case of S. So only one candidate got a higher score in P2 as compared to P3. So now that you have understood the topic through our videos, I would recommend you to try the practice tests of the topic tables available on our EduRev app. Apart from the tests, we also provide a full-fledged course to support you in acing your CAT preparation through 170 plus interactive videos and video lectures, 150 plus comprehensible documents, and 110 plus tests comprising 20 plus full-length mock tests. So keep on doing your rock solid preparation and quickly go and check it out on our app.